In this video, we will learn how to format worksheets. So we'll continue using the same data set that we have been using, which is the Global Superstore. So in this video, we will learn how to format labels, annotations, and we will also learn how to deal and format tooltips, as well as format some of the parts of the visualization as well as the axis. So let's start by looking at the labels or formatting labels. So let me select sales, and then I want to select the order date by months where it is continuous. So to be continuous, I remember this side, so I'll select this month. So now I have continuous date. So I will also drag color to color, market to color. So I'll drag market to color. So now I have a nice, as you can see here, I can have I have all the different markets represented in a line graph. But what I'm interested in is I want to look at the labels. So if I want to show the labels, means like I want to show here the exact numbers for each point, I can just click on the labels and say show mark labels. As you can see here, now I can see all the labels marked for me for each point. So that's one option that you can choose to have. And there are some other options as well. For example, let me turn this off. So now let me add profit to the label. So I'll drag profit to the label, and as you can see now, automatically it is showing the profits at each point. So but now I want to do some more formatting. So I can click on label, and I can actually click on this ellipse and make more formatting here if I'm interested in. And so I'll uncheck show mark labels because it's too much and it's too crowded. But let's say that we are interested in showing certain points here. So we can do that by showing this label. I can just right click on this guy on this particular point, and then I can go where it says mark label. So I can choose either to always show it, so it will be shown all the time, or I can actually choose never show, to never show. So now it is always showing. Even if I decided to show it here, it is gonna be still there. So I can also choose not to make it show. So never show, mark label and never show. So now if I show all, this point is not showing. So you get the idea that, so there is a lot of things that you can do, really cool stuff that you can do with Tableau. So that was what I wanted to cover in terms of labels. Now let's move on to annotations. So annotations are basically text boxes that are used to call out something specific in the view. So they allow us kind of to do certain things. So I'll go back here, and let's say that I want to create an annotation box here. So I can just actually right click, and where it says annotate, there are three types of annotation. There is the mark annotation, which actually stays with the mark itself regardless whether you change or made any of the view changes. So let's start with experiencing or mark. So now that's what you see. So this is basically what we mean by a mark. It is kind of a notation or a note that we can refer to that has more information about that particular point. So you can either, with one click, you can just drag it and resize it the way you want it, double clicking, actually you can reformat it. For example, let's say that I want it to be bold, and you can also right click and format. So let's say format, and then you can do some formatting to it here. So that's the mark. So one thing about the mark is that it stays related or connected to that particular point no matter what you change. So let me say that I want to add a categorical variable or the category variable as filter. Select all, say OK, and let me show it. Show filter. Now let's say that I want to select only those two. I don't want to select furniture. You will see that it moves on. So the annotation moves for that particular point. So it keeps moving as I change the selection options. So you get the idea. So that's the mark when I format it as mark. So now let me format it as something else. So I'm just kind of undoing, kind of to, and then let's say that I'm interested in this particular point and I want it to be, what I can do, I'll just keep it, and I will add, let's say, one point here as a different point annotation. So the point annotation, on the other hand, stays in the same relative position on the view independently of the mark, and that also happens, and this also applies to the other type of annotation, which is area. So what we mean by that, let me just keep it here. Now again, let me just add this guy one more time. So let's see now. It is connected to that particular point. Now it doesn't have any meaning. So now it is gone. But on the other hand, this guy is still here. So for furniture, it is there. For office supplies, the mark is there, but the point is gone. And for technology, also the mark is still there, but that one is gone. So you get the idea what we mean here by the different types of annotations. So now let's continue and look at till points or tooltips. Remember when in one of the, actually we learned about tooltips in the database course. And the tooltips actually allow us, as soon as you click on a point, it shows you, or you hover over a certain point with the cursor of the mouse, you will see more information about that particular point. So now let me start with a new sheet, and let me say that I want to select sales and profits, and what I'm really interested in is I'm going to create, so automatically it created for us a scatter plot. Another way to do this, actually, to select both of them at the same time. So sales, and then control, and then profit, and then go show me. Click on this scatter plot. So there are different ways to create the same plot. Now I need to add order priority to color. So the order priority, and I also need to add the number of records. Number of records, I need to add it to detail, and I also need to add market to detail. So I'll put it here to detail. So it is very important to do this if you want to show certain information in those points, in the till point, tooltip point. You will need to add those into the marks, so they need to be somewhere here. That's why we added market and number of records to detail. That way we can see them here. So you see here, the first one is market, order priority, number of records, and so on. So they have those variables need to be actually under the marks area, in the shelves area. So now I can actually do a little bit of formatting. Maybe I can change the marks to be circles, and I can also increase the size. So I'll go to the size and then increase it by just dragging this guy. So now I can see I have a little bit bigger circles. So now, as you can see, as I hover over, the tooltip shows more information about that particular point. So now let me click on this. Let me click on the tooltip, and as you can see here, I have it is formatted, but I want to make it more relevant. I want to change here to make it read something that is more meaningful. So I'll delete this guy, and I will start by typing my own tooltip content. So market, and then I will type it as markets, and then order priority. So priority orders, and then enter, and then I'll type total, then sum, sales, close that, oops, and then in sales. Let me add one more or two more. So with, oops, some profit, overall profit, and then I will add here this circle represents some number of records, and then I'll put here records, and I'll just click OK. And as soon as I hover over this point, now it is readable in a very nice formal way. So I can say this is the name of the market that I am hovering over. It is the APAC. So let's look at this one, the EU. So this is the EU market, means the European market, and it has high priority order, this particular point, and the total in sales is given to me, and it is telling me how much profit it is, overall profit. And the last sentence says this circle represents 2,914 records, and so on. So now you see that it is really well organized. So, and remember that if you want to include a field in the tooltip, so let's say the tooltip, you want to include a new field, that you can actually click on insert, and you can include it either all fields. Oops, you can include it by dragging it and making sure that it is somewhere here. Maybe you can drag it to let's say detail. Let's say that I want country, or whatever you want to add, order ID, or let's say order ID. You can just put it into the detail, and then you will be able to see it. So just kind of as an example. Another thing that you can do, if you don't want, let's say, to see this command, so when you click, this is what we mean by the command. If you don't want to see it, then actually you can do some more stuff, keep only, and so on. If you don't want to see that command, you can just click on tooltip and uncheck include command. So now I don't see that command. So that's another thing. if you don't want to see the tooltip, you can just don't show, uncheck tooltip. So, but there is no point of not showing the tooltip because it is very helpful. So that was about the tooltips. So now let's say that I want to add some more formatting. Let's say that I want to add or to create and show order priority as a filter. So I'll say okay, and then I will show it, show as filter. Now let's say that I want to format this particular filter. I can actually click on this guy and then say format filter. Here I can format this filter in terms of font and color. So let's say that I want to change the font into whatever color that that you're interested in, and so on. So you get the idea, and then you can just click on this X to exit. Now what if I want to do some formatting for the axes? So let's say for this axis that I'm interested in doing some formatting to it. So I can just actually right click on it and say edit axis, and then I can select whatever range that I'm interested in. So automatically it is taking it from the lowest point to the maximum point. It is showing it here. Let's say that I'm interested in fixed. I'll just select fixed and say okay. Automatically you will notice that there has been a pin. There has been actually a pin icon here. You can double click on it and then it will show you. So the pin actually shows if it is not, if the formatting of the axis is not automatic. So you can just double click on this pin and then put it back to automatic. So that's one thing that I want to share with you. And that's all actually for this particular lesson, and see you soon.